Autonomy is an illusion. Autonomy is an illusion.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here we go. Once again. What is this? What is this? What is this? Oh my gosh. What week is this? What episode is this?
I think it's episode 16.
Is it 16?
Episode 17.
17?
Yep.
Oh my god, it's not readily available to me. I think I did this one, so I messed up. Hold on. I can get this information. It's episode 17. You're right.
Episode Josh Allen.
Oh, wow. Josh Allen episode. There you go. And, you know, it's rightfully so the Josh Allen episode because the Bills and Josh Allen have a big matchup heading their way this week.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that one. That's what we're going to save most of our time for is that matchup because I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, really quick, you're listening to Fans of the Week, episode 17, brought to you by your hosts,
Durf
and Dylan. Yeah, it was a very Merry Christmas for you, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you get any stuff? Did Santa come?
Did
you get socks?
Actually, couple things. Nothing crazy. Got a new Bills shirt.
Ooh.
Not the one I'm wearing, but yeah.
All right.
Nah, yeah, not really not too much this year. It was pretty quiet with getting ready for the babies and everything. So
yeah,
a lot of things for them.
Yeah, that's what it is now. A lot of the funds and resources are now going towards the more important human beings now. Unfortunately, you know, that's just how it is. I got treated this year with a Meta Quest 2 VR headset.
Nice.
Very surprised by that. So that was
very cool.
Nice little surprise. But then obviously, yeah, the kid got a bunch of stuff, so she's loving it. It's like the first Christmas where she like actually knows what's going on. You know, it's like she's like, oh my god, like Santa's a thing and like presents and stuff. Like yeah, she's hyped. So hope everyone else out there had a fantastic holiday weekend. We got the New Year's holiday coming up this weekend, and you know it's just thing after thing this time of year. It's a fun time of year. We'll try and stumble into 2023 with positive vibes. You know, it's all you can do is try. So let's jump into week 16, eh? I mean,
yeah.
I think the Seahawks are going to take a back seat to this episode for the most part because I don't really got a lot to say. But,
all right.
The Seahawks played the Chiefs. The Chiefs were 10-point favorites. They won by, I believe, 14. I think the final score was 24-10, if I'm not mistaken. It was just the score doesn't reflect how bad of a game it was. I think the Chiefs did. Everyone's saying, "Wow, look at the Seahawks defense. They played pretty well, right? They held them to 24 points, multiple 3-and-outs. You know, it really wasn't that bad of a game in the grand scheme of things for the defense." I disagree because I watched the game. I saw a Chiefs team that just didn't care. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna beat these guys, so let's just kind of like half-ass it." They could have dropped 50 if they wanted to.
Right.
But Mahomes wasn't sharp. You know, Isaiah Pacheco wasn't like running people over. It was kind of just like mid-tier stuff. Like the drive where they wanted to score, they did. And it was like 3 catches by Kelsey on that drive for like 60 yards and they score a touchdown the next play. Like, yes, that's what the Chiefs can do, but they just chose not to. That's how I feel personally. Because their first offensive drive was a 3-and-out. And it was like a bad run, a sloppy throw downfield by Mahomes, and then like a dropped screen pass, and it was a 3-and-out. And that's pretty much how they played. It was a very weird vibe coming off of the Chiefs, almost like they were playing down to the Seahawks level, but like we're still able to beat them playing down to their level. That's how bad it was. As the offense was atrocious, absolutely disgusting. Geno could do nothing. He was under constant pressure. at least in the first half, there was no resemblance of a run game. The second half was a much better outing from Ken Walker. But overall, just disgusting. We lost multiple people to injuries, including the rookie tackle, Abe Lucas. He'll be done for the season. We lost Will Dissly to IR.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's just, it's the sign of the end times for this season. Which hopefully people are finally, there's people are still hopeful. Like, oh my gosh, the playoffs, we're not eliminated yet. Stop. What's that the Michael Jordan meme? Stop. Get help. Like, that's what I want to say to all of these people. Stop. Get help. Yeah, I mean, the points, yeah. The Chiefs' defense sucked less, obviously. The O-line, I just said, they got blown up constantly. They played a little bit better in the second half, but not great. And the battle of the rookie running backs. I mean, Pacheco didn't play great. I don't think he needed to. And then Ken Walker had a very good second half. So, I mean, between the battle of the two of them, I don't know. I'd say it was kind of just even. Pacheco was more consistent, but Ken Walker had a pretty outstanding second half. So, I don't know. McKinnon had a nice day, though. He had a touchdown just for the other running back in general. My other point was teams are 3-10 after playing the Texans the following week. So now they're 4-10 because the Chiefs won. But then, like, the day of the game, I saw that teams were winless the week after playing the 49ers. And the Seahawks played the 49ers 2 weeks ago. So that still holds true.
Yeah.
I did not know that until, like, the day of. And I was just like, wow, I wish I would have known that for the podcast.
Getting that 49er effect.
Yeah, I guess they play you so hard that you just get the shit beat out of you. And then you're just like so tired next week. You're like, oh, I just can't.
Right.
I'm still I can still feel that hit from Fred Warner. I can't get up. Help, I've fallen. I can't get up. My favorite bet was over 49.5. And as we've said, Seahawks couldn't do nothing. Chiefs didn't feel like scoring. So we only got to 34 points, which is quite shocking. Just a horrible game. It was hard to watch. It really... yeah. Thank God the Bills were on at the same time, because then I was at least entertained by like something else. Because I had the Seahawks on my phone and the Bills game on the TV because we were over at the in-laws.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they wanted to watch the Bills, obviously, so we put that one up. I'm just watching Seahawks on my phone. I'm like, thank God we're not watching this on the TV because I would have felt bad. But yeah, so Seahawks fall too. I don't even know what their record is at this point, like 7-8, I think.
Yeah.
Another fun stat for the Seahawks real fast is the Seahawks are 7-4 overall, and then they're 0-4 against the worst division in football, the NFC South. Yeah. So take away the NFC South games against the goddamn Saints, Panthers, Buccaneers, and Falcons, right?
Yep.
The worst division in football with some of the worst teams in the league sitting down there. Take them away, the Seahawks are 7-4. Looking good, right? Even if you just split those games in half, they go 2-2 against the division. You're at 9-6. Now I'm sitting here saying, like, wow, maybe the Seahawks are a playoff team. We look at us at 9-6. No, we go 0-4 against the worst division in football, and we're 7-8. Inexcusable. So they deserve to be where they are, and I'll get to draft position later. For now, let's see what your opinion of that Bears game was, because I'll tell you what, that was quite the Jekyll and Hyde game.
Yes. It definitely was. Bills ended up winning 35-13. 9-point favorites. They clearly covered that. Just looking at my match, the points from last week. I feel like the cold, the temperature, the frigid weather conditions, I think affected the Bills early on in the game. I think they got adjusted, what they could do, and then they let Singletary and Cook run, just fire them up and let them go.
Yeah, Josh's arm wasn't really feeling it. He could not get heated up, so they're like, screw it. Let's just give it to these guys. And for the first time this season, it worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Josh threw a couple interceptions too that were a little on the ugly side. Um, Definitely some concern, but it's still dominating for the most part. Um, I mentioned last week that the field was gonna feel like concrete because of the cold, and that did. There were some players that mentioned that. You know, after the game and stuff early this week. So
Was one
it's
of
no
them
joke at
Dawson
the.
Knox?
I don't know if it was Knox or if it was Singletary mentioned it.
So it was the first play of the game. Dawson Knox catches that ball up in the air and comes down
Oh
hard on
yeah.
the field. I mean, I cannot imagine how that felt
Oh, it
against that
must have
field.
knocked the wind out of him so hard.
Like, holy crap!
And he was sleeveless.
Well, PSA. No one cares if you guys are sleeveless. All right. If there's any NFL player that ever hears this clip, we don't care. Oh wow, look at him, he's sleeveless. Like, look at all the
Like,
Seahawks players that warmed up in like 10 below degree weather with their shirts off.
right.
No one cares. Like, because then you
Yeah.
do that to look tough, and then you lose 24-10. No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. All right, go ahead. Stay warm out there.
Stay warm for sure. Um, I didn't hear the chicken broth comment.
No.
I don't remember hearing that. I was trying to watch it while doing a couple things because I was at work waiting for all the drivers to come home.
Yeah, I had
But
my ears on both games, so maybe I missed it, but I don't recall hearing it.
I didn't hear chicken broth on that one.
Hmm.
But the heaters on the sidelines were like super industrial compared to the ones I see when I see the Bills games. I was like, oh, you could actually really get burnt on those ones.
Oh, those ones were like tubes of heat. Like, they were big. The ones I'm used to
Yeah.
seeing are like the ones that basically look like charbroiled grills. The ones that like catch on fire pretty easily that we've seen before.
Yeah.
The ones they had were like jet engines. They were
Right.
they were cool.
Yeah. The other point here was the Bills, be able to figure it out to be a dominating offense again. I think they did to a point. They, obviously kind of got their feelers out there against the Bears defense to see kind of what they were going to do against Josh Allen passing. Allen still had some pretty nice throws deep. Unfortunately, there was a great Gabe Davis throw. Then Davis tried to be like Diggs, and then gets the ball punched out, and we turned the ball over. But, yeah, I think they did kind of get that dominating offense back, but kind of to a different degree than what we normally were seeing. What we normally see with the Bills, especially that run game. That they were able to just control clock and chew it away, and kind of got to the point where they didn't have to pass it every time, and they were able to get those first couple downs. Run the ball, get a good chunk here, a good chunk there, and then make it more manageable third down if they get to it. So did a pretty good job there. Then third point here was the Bills defense stopping the Bears run game. I don't remember seeing much out of the Bills run game at all. And Justin Fields seemed pretty pedestrian, last week, compared to what we've seen in the past. A week before this, the Bears were in a tight game against the Eagles, and the Eagles ended up winning 25-20. Like,
Yeah, 15 to 23 from Justin, 119 yards, very weak. He did have the touchdown pass early. He took 2 sacks for 15 yards, and then only had 7 carries for 11 yards.
Yeah.
And his longest rush was for 7. So, I mean, he only averaged 1.6 yards a carry. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bills kept him in check.
Yeah.
So, and then, so real quick here, other points was the last time the Bills played in these conditions, last weekend. They were playing the Patriots in last year's playoffs on wild card weekend, and wasn't as much of a blowout, but it was Bills played well for the end result there. So it might be cold, but the Bills can still play. And my favorite bet here, Josh Allen anytime touchdown, and that absolutely smacked.
Obviously.
So, yeah.
The Bears can't defend running quarterbacks to save their lives. You think they'd be better at it since they like practice against one? Yeah. Like usually the ones with running quarterbacks usually know how to defend it better. But yet they didn't get torched by him this week. I mean, he had I think like 46 yards on the ground with his touchdown. But I mean, overall they just got torched by the run game. I mean, James Cook was a yard short of 100 yards. Devin Singletary 106 on 12 carries. James Cook 11 carries, 99 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen 6 carries for 41 yards, 6.8 average in his touchdown.
Yep.
And then Gabe Davis caught a touchdown. Dawson Knox caught a touchdown. 5 different players scored a touchdown for the Bills in this game. Very fun. I like that.
Yeah. Spread the love.
Spread the love. Yeah, unlike, man, some of these primetime games, I was just going to say, no spreading the love last night. In last night's game, there were only 2 touchdowns of the game were Austin Eckler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we didn't even bring that up at all. Yeah,
we didn't. And as we wrap up Week 16, we can talk about it now before we go into Week 17.
Yeah, because Week 16 brought the end of the Durf and Dylan's League of D-Gens Fantasy Football League. And the championship game was indeed between your hosts,
Durf
and Dylan. Left everyone else in the wayside, apparently. Yeah. So, it came down to Keenan Allen last night. You needed, 16, 17 points out of him, I think?
17, yeah.
17, and he's got like 16, 15 or 16.
Yep.
Came up like a point short.
I came up 1.9 points short.
So your league winner will be Dylan.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for your time and your dedication towards me winning the league that we set up.
Oh,
and go ahead.
I was gonna say the only regret I have from setting my lineup last week was not starting Singletary.
Yeah, I mean he dropped 26 points or something.
Yeah, I left him on the bench and started Pollard and Aaron Jones, and that was a fail.
Yeah, I took a look at I looked at your bench afterwards, and you had Boyd was on your bench too.
Oh yeah,
and he would have won it for you. You had a couple of guys on your bench that would have won it for you. Which always hurts to see. That's always a tough pill to swallow.
Right, because I mean, but my starters though, they should have. Everyone I started should have got me points, and
Aaron Jones only had 4 points.
Oh man, it was so bad.
He was nowhere to be seen that whole game.
But I don't get Aaron Jones is RB1, but they use AJ. I keep wanting to say Corey Dillon, but it's AJ Dillon.
I saw on Twitter that because people were asking where Aaron Jones was.
Mm-hmm.
But people kept saying he had some kind of nagging ankle injury. But how serious was it where he got 10 touches for the day?
Right.
He was nowhere to be seen at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of bizarre. If it was more serious of an injury, I feel like we would have known about it.
Right.
Especially this time of year, usually they're pretty vocal about these kinds of injuries, but I guess they kept this one a little bit of a secret. I don't know.
I guess so.
So the league loser was a straight up loser.
Mm-hmm.
He had the worst record, I believe, at 3-12, and we had a couple people at 4-11, whatever the actual record is. I don't really know. He had 3 wins. There was a couple people with 4 wins. He only had 3. So he's the straight up loser for the league. Shane, and real quick. I don't know if you put your list together. I only have one option that I want him to do. So I kind of want to hear your suggestions for his punishment, because this was a punishment league, no cash value. Just if you win, you get bragging rights. If you lose, that's really the big thing. Don't lose. So
I would say I don't know if you're thinking this, But my other thought, so a different thought would be, depending on what Shane does for work,
Okay.
he should wear a costume to work one day.
A costume to work.
Like talking like fuzzy chicken suit.
A little chicken suit to work.
That's my thought.
We'd have to figure out what he does for work.
Right, because obviously we don't want him to get like, fired or anything.
If he has to go,
or if he even has to go to work.
If he works,
like go into work.
That's true. That's true too.
If he's like a work from home guy, then it's like it doesn't really work out.
I feel like I should know what he does. Like I talk to him a lot, but I feel like I don't even know what he does for work. That's weird. Especially if he maybe works like construction or something. Can't wear a suit doing that, or costume doing that.
No, because OSHA doesn't like that.
Yeah. So that's your suggestion.
That was that's my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah. Besides what you're probably gonna say. So.
Yeah, I think we should run a poll between these two.
Okay.
I mean, I could have final verdict, but I'd rather have two options and run a poll. I think it'd be more fun.
Yeah.
My option would be to either do it's just one picture in general, but I want to know how to do it. So I want him to do a sexy pose picture for either a calendar. And it's like, like the one big picture at the top with like the months below it. Or I want him to just do like a beer poster. You know how like the girls do like beer posters like Bud Light and it's like some sexy girl on it? Yeah, I want him to do like a Michelob Ultra poster. It's like I'd flip a coin between the two of those, doesn't really matter. I kind of lean towards the poster, but that'd be a lot of graphic designing, I think. That'd be a lot of work.
Right.
Which would be his responsibility.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Really? What do you think I was gonna lean towards?
I figured you were gonna say the rest, the pancake eating one.
I feel like that one's overdone now.
But that one's done a lot too. So
yeah, I think that one's moved on.
I like your idea though.
It's like the second Shane started going towards the bottom of the league, I was like, man, he'd be perfect for this. I just know like he would love it too. I think he'd have fun doing that.
Yeah.
So we'll run a poll between those two on Twitter, and I'll throw it some other places. We'll just try and get enough votes to make it worthwhile, and we'll see what the people want to see.
Yeah. And
then we'll have to figure out how because if he's gonna end up making a beer poster like that, then I'm gonna need one obviously. So we're going to print a couple. Maybe we can sell them and put the. We can sell the posters or the calendars, whatever they end up being, and we can put the funds towards a charity of his choice. So he's a loser, but also a winner.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea. I like the sounds of this. We're heading in the right direction.
I like it.
All right. So that fantasy season's over. I lost in my other league too, so I'm officially like done. Nice. Unfortunately. But yeah, let's head into week 17 of NFL action. I know what you're all saying. This is the final week of the NFL season. You'd be stupid because there is 18 weeks now in the NFL season. So unfortunately, we have to slug through 2 more Seahawks games. This week, they host the Jets in Seattle.
Oh, boy.
And they opened up as home favorites, and then they announced Mike White is back and healthy and ready to play football, and now they are underdogs at home by 2.5 points. It's amazing how fast that can change.
Right.
I kind of want to do my other point first, because this kind of rounds things out for me, right?
Okay.
I already talked about it a little bit earlier, but there's the thing going around with they came out saying the Seahawks have a 28% chance to make the playoffs. They'd have to win out and get like a bunch of help from like the Packers losing, Giants losing, a whole bunch of people losing pretty much. But if they win out, depending on other things happening, they have about an 80% chance to not end up with a top 15 draft pick outside of the Denver pick, obviously, which will likely be at least top 3. It's I love it. It's so amazing that's going to happen. But rest in peace, Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
But yeah, they can end up outside of the top 15 very easily in draft picks. Because sitting at 7 and 8, there's a bunch of teams at like 6 and 9,
Oh, yeah.
but there's also a bunch of teams sitting at like 8 and 8 or 8 and 7 areas, whatever. Like they could if those teams lose, or like they need to lose to keep pace with all the other shitty teams if they want to keep a good draft pick.
Right.
Now, you tell me, with a team with Seattle in its current position and where we all thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season, what's more important? Losing in the first round of the playoffs or a top 15 draft pick?
Well, obviously draft pick.
The draft pick, because we are rebuilding. Let us not forget it. I know Geno Smith's had a great season. It's been a lot of fun. It's done. We're done here. We had our fun. We suck now. Lose the games.
We put Drew Lock in.
I would not care, because I've heard through the rumor mill, I guess. Geno hasn't talked about it, at least as far as I know. But Geno will be looking to command starting quarterback money. Like, he wants a deal. Like, he's not going to be like, yeah, give me the 2-year deal for like 20 mil a season or something no, he wants the 3, 4, 5-year deal for like 30 plus a season. Like, he thinks he proved himself this year to get that. Whether that's true or not, we'll see when the season ends, because that's when you actually talk about these things. But if that's truly what he wants, hell no. Absolutely not. Like, Geno, I don't care how well we rebuild. I don't think Geno will be the guy to get us to the promised land, which is the end goal every season. Obviously, we're rebuilding right now. We give him a year or two. Maybe if he can develop a young quarterback behind him, or even if in that second year he does push us to the promised land. Wow, that'd be amazing. I don't see it happening. Let Drew Lock start these next 2 years. Give him a chance. Or these next two games. Let's just see if he has anything hidden away, like Geno did. Geno had a lot of stuff hidden away. What has Drew got to lose? Because maybe we can start him next year instead of Geno and let him go be a successful starting quarterback elsewhere, and then we'll see what happens there. At the end of the day, I just want to lose. It sucks to say, because it's a weird feeling.
Right.
But like, I'm trying to be a realist.
They've got a good
here.
shot at losing.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely do. The Jets' defense is not something to be, wave a finger at least most weeks. And Mike White has full control of this team when healthy. The team loves to play for Mike White, and he loves to. He's a dog out there. He plays great. So they could easily win this game, without a doubt. So I didn't even. Normally we do the 3 matchups. I only got one. Everything else across the board. I looked at this game. I don't care. Nothing in this game matters to me other than Tariq Woolen versus Sauce Gardner. I need DK Metcalf to just absolutely moss Sauce Gardner in the corner of the end zone.
Right.
I need that so bad in my life. Like, I need that like I need air. Like, if that actually happens, I don't know what I'd do. I would have an out-of-body experience if that happened. But even like, also want Tariq to be successful on his side of the ball, obviously. But just take it up a notch. Tariq Woolen, for those who don't know, is a wide receiver converted to a corner. Can we please, for just one snap, I don't care if it's in the red zone, you're on the 1-yard line. I want some Pro Bowl type of shit where Tariq Woolen lines up as wide receiver across from Sauce Gardner.
There you go. I
just want to see it happen. I don't care what the result is. I just want it to happen. And if he comes down with like a touchdown, because if you're on like the 5 and you just throw a fade up there, let's see who's better. I think it would be absolutely hilarious. I would pay money to watch that one play. So yeah, that'd be awesome. I just hope they do that. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, my favorite bet is Seahawks plus 2.5. I think we can, I sit here saying they're going to lose. Obviously, the Seahawks are not going to go out there and lose. They're not. I mean, this is just what I want. I'm not sitting here telling everybody this is like the Seahawks are going to go out there and lose. My opinion is I want them to lose. Because the Seahawks fan base is split right now. Do you want them to have the draft pick? Or do you want to go to the playoffs? A lot of people are on the playoffs. Some of us are on the draft pick. I'm on the draft pick. At the end of the day, these guys are going to try and win a football game. I think they have the ability to do that at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I at least give them to cover 2.5. Maybe they win the game on a last-second field goal. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
It's 17-16 as Geno Smith drives down the field. Will he get the game-winning field goal off, or will he throw an interception to end the game? That's my prediction right there.
I like it.
So let's go to the more important game. Obviously, this game is huge. Like this is a massive game.
This has a lot of implications on it. Yeah. And that game is Bills -1.5 at the Bengals on Monday Night Football. This is the last Monday night regular season game of the year. Because week 18, I think they are doing Saturday games, and there's no Monday night game that week because of playoffs the weekend after, so they don't want to do that. So let's start off my 3 matchups to watch here. I'm looking at the Josh Allen accuracy against this Bengals defense. Something we kind of mentioned in the Bears recap is that Allen gave up 2 interceptions to the Bears defense, and there honestly could have been 2 more interceptions if the Bears defense was more aggressive. I do question, does this fall on Allen, or is this a little bit more on Ken Dorsey's play calling? Is Allen taking the shots that he knows are the direct or the top receiver to target, and he sees it open, but then it's not? Or is this Josh Allen not making the adjustments like he should at sometimes? Could be a little both.
Because Ken Dorsey was the quarterback coach before. So there's there's a very deep trust between Josh and Ken. And I'd be curious to know if Josh doesn't question his play calls as much as he should because of their relationship.
Yeah, that's very possible. But it also could be way defenses are scheming against Josh Allen. They could show one thing, and then as Josh is doing his progressions on his reads, he sees something, but then it changes as soon as he lets the ball go. And it's like, let the ball go, and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have thrown that ball that way. So he's probably saying other words, but
Oh gosh darn it. I definitely shouldn't have thrown that ball. Oh well. Let's go defense.
Oh, but yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it, because this Bengals secondary can bully you around a little bit for some quarterbacks. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Second point is this: will the Bills' run game continue what they had against the Bears? Like we kind of talked about here, that even in the frigid temperatures, the Bills were able to run for a total of 254 yards. We basically had just about 2 100-yard rushers, with Singletary at 106 and Cook with 99. They should have given Cook the ball again to get him to 100, because who doesn't love that stat? And I wonder if the Bills will be able to run against the Bengals like they did on the Bears, with the Bengals' injuries on defense. So those injuries on defense should shed some light on the possibility of the Bills being able to be successful with the run game. I think Trey Hendrickson's out this week, or at least he was battling something.
I'm curious about that, because he had the broken wrist last week, but he played with it.
Right.
Let's see here. Where are you? That's the Cleveland Browns. We need Cincinnati. Cincinnati Bengals. Trey Hendrickson is not on the injury report currently.
Oh, okay.
Lael Collins is out. They lost their offensive tackle, Collins. So that's
Yep.
obviously going to be an issue. So if the pass rush
Mm-hmm.
wants to get to Burrow, they have an opening.
Yep.
But that's really all I see for out other than their safety, Brandon Wilson. A couple of guys are questionable. Sam Hubbard, defensive end's questionable. But I see no Hendrickson.
Oh, maybe it was Hubbard I was thinking of instead.
Probably, yeah.
Good possibility. So, yeah, I know Hubbard's. If he's questionable now, then there's a chance he plays this weekend. Then or on Monday night. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But like you mentioned with Lalo Collins, that does lead me to my third point here: is this Bills defense versus the absolutely hot and cold Bengals offense. Go back 2 weeks ago, the Bengals started out slow against the Bucks, couldn't get anything going. By the end of the first half, they started making their comeback to take the lead and then eventually win the game and ultimately just destroy the Bucks and be more. I think it's being very opportunistic.
Yeah,
Because
the
of
four
Bengals defense.
turnovers in one quarter
Right.
probably helped to spark that a little bit.
Right.
But I do agree. The Bengals do it. Like the thing I've been saying a lot this week when I talk to people about this game is like the Bengals offense on the road is like pedestrian compared to when the Bengals are at home. Like for some reason when the Bengals are at home, they just look like a different team. That's why it's like it's unfortunate the Bills have to play this game in Cincinnati because I think it just got like 10 times harder. And it's also why they need to win this game because you don't want to surrender that first seed to Cincinnati or Kansas City for that matter.
Yep.
Because you don't want to play these people in Cincinnati or in Kansas City come playoff time again. You want this to be in Buffalo.
Right. Absolutely. So 2 weeks ago they were cold against the Bucks, then got hot later in the game. Last week they were hot starting out against the Patriots, built up that lead, and then went ice cold. And let the Patriots fight their way back to get within 4 points and almost winning the game if it wasn't for the Stevenson fumble that should have been whistled dead. And therefore, so so we will see. Obviously, this is a big game this weekend, like you mentioned, with the 1 seed. Bills can clinch the 1 seed if they get a win and they get a Kansas City loss. I think that's the only scenario that gets them the 1 seed. But if the Bills do, for some reason, lose this week, then it puts Cincinnati even more in play to get that to slip into that 1 spot.
Kansas City plays the Broncos this weekend.
Yeah, well, you know what? Brett Rippon is just gonna rip it all over this.
What makes you think Russell Wilson's not playing?
Well, I don't know. He got benched last week.
I love how the assumption is like he's so bad that the assumption is just that he's not gonna start. That's awesome.
I mean, the Broncos said he's fixable, but how much fixing do you really want to do?
After that comment, like real quick, because I saw that comment and I retweeted it. And I was just like, how defeating is that to Russell Wilson to hear from your owner? Like he didn't even say like defend you. He didn't. His first thought in his brain when asked about Russell Wilson is he's fixable, which he just bypassed everything else about like new system, weird head coach scenario. Knew everything, knew this, that. He skips over all of that and just says, no, he's broken. He's just a broken man and a horrible quarterback. He just went straight to that. Like that had to be awful for Russell Wilson to hear from his owner. But, I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying like, it's kind of like a weird thing to just jump to. He's broken. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Gee, thanks, dude. Okay.
Right. So, yeah, big implications this weekend. We'll see what happens with the Bills. I think the Bills could keep winning. So, yeah, I think they're more mature this year to recognize that they are in the driver's seat and they need to keep pedal down and, just take control like they need to. So, we'll see what the Bengals can stop that or not. But my other point here is the Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs connection. Not sure if you saw this, but Josh Allen did say, I forget if it was either after the Bears game or if it was like I think Monday, that he does really want to get the ball more stuff on Diggs, but also understands that he needs to make the smart plays and that it's not always Stephon Diggs is the option to go to, but he sees it.
Yeah, and I think Diggs here and there has dropped the hint that he'd like to get the ball more.
Oh
sometimes.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't think he hasn't been blatant about it and like going on just being like, "What the fuck? I want my carry, I want my touches."
Yeah,
but like, I think he's a little upset that like, hey, you could probably throw the ball my way a bit more, and I wouldn't mind. You paying me a lot of money to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when it comes down to it, though, I mean, I don't think in the Bears game they're in a situation where it's like, wow, we really need to like force feed our superstar.
Right.
I think it's very, very much so situation based. Like if they're in a tight game against the Bengals, they're going to start force feeding superstars. That's just how it is. That's how, if you have a guy of that caliber on your squad, that's just how games break down. So yeah, I think he'll get his moment coming up here soon with regular season closing out, playoffs coming. This is why they don't force feed him throughout the regular season, so he's ready for this moment. Because now he's healthy, he's fresh, he's ready, he's hungry.
I mean, and Diggs is still like up there in like stats this year already.
Yeah, he has 101 receptions, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. It's not like he hasn't been getting the ball yet.
Like it's still good. It's not, but like it's not like he's getting the breakaway runs and everything like that. Down the field. Like he's not getting like the Justin Jefferson style runs, I guess, or the catches, I guess. But he's still absolutely valuable to this team, and I think Josh understands that. And
he's third in receiving yards this season.
Yeah.
He's fourth in targets. He's third in receptions. And I believe he's tied for third with touchdowns. I mean, he's top four. Mostly top three in every category. So the problem here is, he's nowhere to be seen when you on the yak.
Right.
The yak is lacking.
That's okay.
But that's okay.
So, so we'll see what that connection. I think it's that connection just between the two of them is just good in general. So, we'll let it grow stronger and go deep into the playoffs, hopefully. So, favorite bet for this game, I got the Bills against the spread. So, Bills minus 1.5 and still getting the win.
Easy. Basically, minus 1.5 is like a pick 'em. Might as well, it's like
pretty much, because
especially on the road, if you're the 1.5 points on the road, that's literally
right. I mean, that's the thing too. Like I would think normally it's a 1.5 point favorite to the home team,
right?
And if the Bills are 1.5 point favorites, you put that in a neutral field, it's Bills minus 3.
So,
take it.
It's pretty much a pick 'em for us here, folks.
Pretty much.
It's gonna be an exciting Monday night. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that game. I think it's gonna be a blast. I don't work that day, so I'll have all day to just build up to the hype for it.
Nice.
Do you work that Monday?
Yeah, I'm working on Monday. Do
you work Monday night?
No, Monday morning.
Okay. Whew. Thank God. Okay, so you can watch the game. You'll be good. Okay.
I can watch that game. Yeah.
Thank God. It's gonna be a fun game. The Seahawks one, I'll just watch for because it's on and I watch football, so I'll just put myself through that torture. It'll be a great time. And I believe that's gonna wrap up this episode 17, the official Josh Allen episode. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We're very active over on Twitter if you want to play along with all of our shenanigans at Durf and Dylan. This podcast will be on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. At Fans of the West is the title of the podcast. Also on YouTube, our Durf and Dylan YouTube channel. And TikTok does exist, but we don't really post that much anymore. It's mostly just Twitter. Yeah. Twitter's where you want to be. Twitter's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
regardless of your opinions of how it's ran these days. I still think it's still a fun app. So yeah, this has been episode 17 of Fans of the West. We have been your lovely hosts,
Durf
and Dylan. Go Bills.
Go Bills.